Chapter 5 Cat and Mouse. Courage is taking action in the face of fear. Map of the island? Check. Key in ignition? On. Reverse switch? Ready. I squeezed the steering wheel, took a deep breath, and slowly backed out of the open area beneath Honey's house. Looking way up at the house, I could see how she came up with that nickname, the bird's nest. I spotted the big round window of my room. The island was so different from base life. On the base, there were small fenced yards and no big trees. Nothing like the jungle of tall, swaying pines, palmettos, and ancient oak trees here. Honey's driveway was littered with broken limbs and piles of pine needles, cones, and leaves blown off from the storm. There was no way I'd get the cart out. This is some vacation, I muttered as I found the rake. I spent a good half hour sweeping the dirt driveway clear of the minefield of debris. Once I was done, the cart easily made it out to the main dirt road. I did a lot of stopping and starting until I got used to the accelerator and brake pedals. Being alone on the narrow, muddy road was both exciting and scary. Both sides were lined with deep thickets of trees, dark and mysterious. If anything happened to me out here, would anyone even notice? Suddenly, a blur of movement caught my eye from the woods. I slowed to a stop. Just steps away from the road, I spotted a deer and her white-spotted baby fawn almost hidden behind the leaves. The mother deer locked eyes with me. I held my breath. She was close. I could see the muscles in her chest flex. Then, with a single leap, she disappeared into the safety of the forest, her fawn following on her spindly legs. The last I saw of them were their white tails flashing. Mental note. Write that down in the notebook. Time to be on my way. I pushed the accelerator down, but strangely, the cart only sputtered at half speed. It began slowing down by the minute, even though I had the pedal pressed all the way to the floor. Then it just stopped. My heart hammered fast. Now what? Honey didn't go over the part about what to do if a golf cart breaks down. Could I push it back to the house? I shook my head. I wasn't that strong. There wasn't a person or a house in sight on the path. I sighed. I had no choice but to walk. On foot, the island seemed even larger and more looming. Trees towered over me, making me feel so small, so alone. I didn't have to imagine being on jungle expedition anymore. I was doing it. All my senses were on high alert. My eyes searched the trees. My ears heard every crunch, squish, and snap. The forest awakened with sounds. Camouflaged frogs croaked throaty songs in the pine needle-covered floor. Birds hidden high in the branches called out to one another. I recognized the sharp whistles of the red cardinal and the long songs of a mockingbird. Around a bend, a lone wooden swing bench overlooked a small pond. Curious, I walked through the tall grasses to check it out. Gnats buzzed by my ears and mosquitoes attacked everywhere. I swatted them, but they kept biting. Mental note, use bug spray. The trees opened to reveal a small pond. The water was the color of iced tea. Sunlight danced on the water, and I saw the puffy white clouds reflected. A big limb of an old twisted tree leaned far over the water's edge. Its slender branches looked like long fingers dipping beneath the dark water, and all over the tree sat at least a dozen of the biggest white birds I'd ever seen. Some of the birds were as tall as little kids, and they were weird looking. Their heads had no feathers, just wrinkly, leathery skin that made them look prehistoric. My fingers itched to draw them, like my dad did in his journal. While I watched, a few more glided in for a landing. Their long white wings fanned out like an airplane. It made me think of Mom and how she piloted massive cargo planes, smooth and easy like these birds. Sweat stung my eyes and mosquitoes buzzed. I retreated to the main path, swatting bugs away like a helicopter. I spied one long white feather on the ground and, surprised, picked it up. There was a faint black tip. I carried it back to draw later. I hadn't gone far when the sound of sticks snapping in the woods just behind me stopped me dead in my tracks. I held my breath to listen, ready to run. The noises were so loud they had to come from a big animal. I waited, but didn't hear them again, so I started walking again. A little faster. My senses were now on high alert. Then I heard it again. The hairs on my arms prickled. Something is following me. I racked my brain. What did Honey say about the animals on the island? Some were not so friendly: alligators, foxes, and bears. I imagined being chased by gnashing teeth. What if something attacks me? How can I defend myself? I felt defenseless and alone, like a mouse being hunted by a cat. My heart beat faster and I looked for a big stick to defend myself. Nothing. I grabbed a big pine cone. I could throw it as a distraction if I needed to make a run for it. I began walking again, faster this time. Once again, the crackling of twigs and rustling of leaves sounded. What if it's Big Al, I wondered? Honey said gators could run fast. If I got attacked or eaten alive, who was going to even know? I remembered being scared in the woods once during a camping trip with my dad. We were asleep in the tent when loud hoots and shrieks woke me up. Dad told me, when you feel scared, remember that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action in the face of fear. Together we peeked out of the tent flap. A fat raccoon was sniffling around our campfire. So ferocious, Dad said. We had a good laugh that night. I knew what I had to do. My muscles pulsed with adrenaline. I stopped and spun around, lifting my arms wide. Roar! I growled as loud as I could, like a wild animal. Get out of here! I hurled my pine cone toward the sound. A voice yelled back from the woods. Ow, stop! I froze, shocked. It was another kid. And he was wearing very familiar bold blue Nike sneakers. The boy from the ferry. He stepped out from the tree line onto the path, rubbing his shoulder. Hey, stop with the pine cones. Those things hurt, he complained. Then, with a laugh, he added, You've got a good arm. Were you following me? I demanded. He glanced downward and shrugged. Well, it wasn't cool. I thought you were Big Al or something. His eyes shot up at me. Who's Big Al? A gator. Only the biggest one on the island. His eyebrows raised. Did you know that the American alligator is one of the only 2 alligator species in the world? No, I didn't think about that when I was worried he'd eat me. Yeah, the boy replied with a laugh, stepping closer. It broke the tension. When they're young, alligators eat mostly insects and small fish. Adult alligators go after fish, snakes, turtles, birds, and small mammals. You know, we are small mammals. He shrugged and grinned. So yeah, maybe he would eat you. I couldn't help but laugh at that. You sure know a lot about gators. Are they your favorite animal or something? No, I just like cool facts. Here's a fact. It wasn't cool that you followed me like that. He kicked a pebble in the road, then looked back at me. Yeah, sorry. Why were you following me? I don't know. I was trying to follow some animal tracks. I think they were fox tracks, or maybe a coyote. Anyway, when I saw you walking, I got curious and decided to track you instead. Why'd you ditch your golf cart? This time I shrugged. It broke down. I don't know why. Was it plugged in before you left your house? Plugged in? Yeah, you've got to recharge the cart after every time you use it. Honey didn't tell me that part. It's probably a dead battery then, I said. I've got to walk for help. Want some company? He looked like he was as lonely on the island as I was. Sure. My name's Jake Potter. I stuck out my hand. Jake. He took my hand. I'm Macon Allen Simmons. But you can call me Macon. We took off together along the dirt road, jumping over the puddles, throwing sticks and pine cones into the woods. It didn't feel so lonely out here with someone by my side. Where are you from? I asked. I'm from Atlanta. I'm from New Jersey. I'm staying with my grandma this summer. All summer? Cool, me too. We both smiled. Finally, my summer was looking up. How'd you get stuck here? I asked him. My mom's having a baby and the doctor said she needed to rest, so we came out here. My mom grew up not far from here. They bought a house for vacations. My dad's going back and forth to Atlanta because of his job. He's a lawyer. He told me I had to help out around the house a lot more. I smirked. Yeah, I got that line too. Is your dad gone too? My smile fell as I nodded. Yeah, he's a captain in the army. He was in Afghanistan and his caravan hit an IED. Like a landmine? Macon asked. I nodded. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's injured. I just don't know how bad yet. We walked a while in silence, neither of us knowing what to say next. Finally, Macon asked, Hey, do you play video games? Of course. You should come over to my house. We'll hang out and play. I stopped walking and just stared at Macon. What? Macon asked. You got Wi-Fi? Doesn't everyone? No, I said. You're kidding. His eyes were wide with disbelief. I'd go nuts. Tell me about it. Honey, that's my grandma. Doesn't believe in it or something. She won't have it in the house. She doesn't even have a satellite for TV. Whoa, Macon said, shaking his head. That sounds like a time warp. We came to a fork in the road. A small wooden sign read, Pelican Flight Drive. Left or right, I asked. Macon shrugged. I don't know. It's my first day out. The rain. Got a coin? Macon pulled a quarter out of his pocket. Heads we go right, tails we go left. Macon flipped the coin, caught it, and flipped it onto his arm. We go right.